So, Baruch Hashem, this is the last Mishnah of the 16th parak on Shabbos, Masechet Shabbos Kuf Kav Beis Amud Aleph, 122a for some of us. We are here in Ma'am Loez, beautiful community in Ramat Bet Shemesh, and we are in the Mishnah. The Mishnah discusses what happens if a goy does malacha for a Jew without the Jew asking the goy to do that. Is the Jew permitted to benefit, have hana from a malacha done by the goy, by the non-Jew? And this year's Le'ilu Nishmas, my father Menachem Ben Akiva, and for the quick release of all the hostages. Says the Mishnah, Nochri she'idlik esaneu. A Nochri, a goy, lit a candle, and that candle is in the same place with where the Jew is sitting in that place in which the goy lit the candle. Mishtamish lo Israel. If it's not done for the Israel, the goy just came and lit a candle, then we say that the Jew is allowed to have benefit from what the goy did. This needs understanding. Well, why is that allowed? Because we know that sometimes when malacha is done for you, even bidei shamayim on Shabbos, you can't benefit from it on Shabbos. Let's say you have juice coming out of grapes on Shabbos by itself. You can't take the juice and drink because you may come to squeeze them. Here we're not concerned about it because the only cases says Tosfos, I'm quoting Tosfos, that says that I'm not allowed to benefit from juice that came out or fruit that fell off a tree, because if I'm used to it, in the middle of Shabbos, I'm used to having my apples, boom, bang, falling on my head, and I'm going to eat it. Then next Shabbos, I may come to pick it myself. Here, we don't say that because the goy does it for me, I'll come to do it myself. Why? Because that gzera is mainly about food. And here we're not talking about food. Food people are much more inclined, have bigger Yetzer Hara. The light is not something I'm going to light so quickly. So when a person benefits from the malacha done by a goy, if it's not done for the Israel, it's okay. However, the im b'shvil Israel also, if it's done, the goy did it for the Jew, and we're going to see it's possibly exclusively for the Jew, then it is osir. I can't benefit from what the goy does exclusively for me, even if I did not ask him to do it. Why? Says Tosfos. I know there are different shittas Rishonim. I'm quoting Tosfos. Today is my day to be with Tosfos. Says Tosfos because you may come to tell him to do it. In other words, if the goy does it for himself, I'm not going to have the chutzpah to ask him to do it for me. But if the goy does it for me, what a nice guy. He is serving me, he's my servant, he's my friend, he's a nice Mr. Nice Guy. So then he does it for me. I'll ask him next time, can you do this for me, please? I saw you're so nice to me last Shabbos, do it for me now. There will be also the Rabbanon, but also nevertheless. And that's why if a goy does something for Yid, the Yid is not allowed to have benefit from it. So that's case number one. Example number two of the same concept. Also, Mila Maim Lehashkos Behemtoi. The goy filled water from a well in Rashus Harabim. The well itself is Rashus Yochid, and the goy is filling Mershus Lerashus water from Rashus Yochid to Rashus Harabim on Shabbos in order to give a drink to his animal. Then Mashka Achav Yisrael. There's leftover water in the bucket. The guy left, he doesn't care, he doesn't need it. My animal can drink from his leftover water because it's not done for me. However, soil also, if it was done for the Israel cannot have benefit from that. Same concept as before. Example number 3. Also nochri kevesh lirid boy. A Nochri and a Yid, or a few Goyim and Yidden, are going on a boat on Shabbos, and the Goy made a kevesh, a ramp, in order to get off the boat. Yeah, to get off the boat, the Nochri made a ramp going down. He did it for himself. Yored Achav Yisrael. The Israel can go also after the Goy can go down the plank, down the kevesh of the made for the goy, by the goy, for the goy. The Ibish really soil also, If it's done for the Israel, if it's done for the purpose of the Israel Osir. Basically, the same concept repeating itself three times with three different examples, and the Gemara will say why. Maise Rabban Gamliel v'zkenim, Rabban Gamliel and other Choshuva, elderly Yidden, Sheboin Besfina, they were sailing on a boat. One is allowed to be on a boat on Shabbos, by the way, if in case you were wondering, if we were going to cruise, yeah, you can be in a Sfina on Shabbos, right? And that Sfina, let's say, was anchored, moored before Shabbos. There's no issue of Tchumin. On Shabbos, you can go off the boat, right? Clearly, if you stay nearby. The Goy created a ramp going down for himself, so it's okay. Now comes an interesting story. Rabban Gamliel and the elderly, they were sailing on a boat on Shabbos. The Osa Nochri Kevesh Lired Boy, and the Nochri created a ramp. He built a ramp in order to get off the boat. The Rabban Gamliel Vezkenim, Rabban Gamliel and the others Kenim, they all went off the boat also with the Goyim and were not concerned. Why? Because it wasn't done for Rabban Gamliel, it was done for the Goyim, and Mimela, it's okay. That's the understanding here. Okay. Let's start the Gemara. V'tzricha, says the Gemara, that the Mishnah had to tell me all three cases, and they're all necessary, all three cases. Why? Had the Mishnah only told me about a candle, I would have said mishum dener leechad ner lemea, which means candle, one candle gives light for one person and to 100 people. So therefore, there is no chashash. If he lights a candle, he'll add another candle. What for? They're just the goy and the Jew, let's say, right? The candle that's good for Tim McKenzie is good for Chaim Yankel. There's no chashash of anything else happening. So if he did it for himself, that's the way it's going to stay. I'll benefit from his light. Aval mine, water is different. Water, obviously, he filled in 10 liters. 8 liters were drank by his animal and 2 liters by mine. That's not the same. We are talking about different water. Some of the water was, used by his animal and some by mine. So maybe there would have been chashash ligza dilma osila pushi b'shvili soil. Maybe I would have said, maybe we should make a gzera that not to use the water that he drew for himself and his animal, because maybe next time he will come to add for me. Maybe he wants to be nice to me for whichever reason, and he'll add more, knowing I'm behind him in the line. I'm behind him in the queue, so maybe he will do extra water, extra drawing for me, because we are talking about amounts. Kamash Malan, they were not concerned about it. V'kevish lamali. Why did we mention the third case of the ramp? Because the ramp, again, is like a candle. There's one ramp for the entire boat, for the entire cruise. Why do you have to mention it again? Says the Gemara, Kamash Malan. The ramp was only mentioned as an introduction to the fact that we have a story about a story that really expresses how serious we are about this halacha and how we are mekel. Ma'aser Rav is usually a kula, that even the great chachamim were lenient and were mekel, that if a goy does an action for himself, I can take a piggyback, a ride. It was really done by the chachamim. What was the case done by chachamim? Ramp. So that's why I mentioned the ramp. Now we're going to see another big okay, let's continue. Tono bonon. Nochri shaliket asovim. Nochri that collected grass, weeds, grass, animal fodder. Machil acher v'Yisrael. Similar to the drawing of the water, the guy started collecting all kinds of, grass and stuff and weeds and the leaves for his animal. Some was left over. The goyish animal, Mackenzie's animal, finished eating. I'm behind. I'm allowed to benefit from that. The Imish will Israel also. If he did it for Israel, it's not allowed. Okay. Yeah, he does it for me, then there's a chashash. I will ask him to do it next time. Don't do it. If it's done for the Israel, I'm not allowed. As we know, he filled water from Rishus HaYochid to Rishus HaRabim to give his animal a drink, Mashgach of Yisrael. If it's the goy doing for the goy, the Yisrael may give his animal to the leftover water of the goy. The Mishvul Yisrael also. If the guy says, "Hey, I'm doing this for you," oh, you just killed it. No, you're not allowed to do it for me. I mean, the guy may be allowed to. I'm not allowed to benefit from the Maisa. He does for me. That's also. Here comes the big bang. Here comes the big uh, um, limitation, qualification to the whole story. If the guy does it only for himself, you know when it's allowed? When he does not know the Jew. It's a strange guy, I never saw him in my life. He's doing it for himself. Two strangers, we're both, in the line to the well of the animals. He does it for himself. Never saw him in my life. I never saw him. He never saw me. I don't know him. Maybe I saw him once, at the end of the bus stop. I don't know yet. And then, of course, he has nothing to do with me. I can benefit from his malacha done for himself. Aval makiroi also. Oh, makiroi also. If the guy knows me, even he's my next door neighbor, he's my partner at work, he's my, I don't know, second cousin's gardener, which I became friendly with, whatever that is. Lamaisa makiroi, I'm not allowed to benefit from the malacha he does for himself, not for me, even for himself, if he knows me. Why? Because the assumption is, according to the Havamina at least, if he knows me, even though he doesn't say it's for me, we are concerned, said Rashi, maybe he does have me in mind. If there's connection between us, there's some contact between us, and he does it seemingly for himself, and he knows who I am, then there's a chashash that he's yes doing it for me in his mind, and next Shabbos I'll get body and say, "Hi Tim, oh, I saw you last Saturday. Do you mind doing it for me again?" And that may create the kesher, may create the situation of me telling him to do it. Frag the Gemara, Eini, is that so? First of all, before we talk about, now we're diverting a little bit, and we're going to point out that there's a muktzah issue over here. Did you realize what's going on in this page? What's going on in this case? Yeah, line starts with makiroi also, more or less in the middle. This guy is basically pulling out, he's eradicating grass from the ground on Shabbos. And we're not concerned about Amir Lenochi because he doesn't know me, he doesn't talk to me. This grass was attached to the ground when Shabbos came in. Yeah? In the middle of Shabbos, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, boom, it's pulled out. I think that's called, it's the M word. Muktzeh. Maybe it's the N word, Neulod. How can you enjoy that? Well, what's going on here? Yeah? Amy, frag the Gemara. Now, what are you going to tell me? I'm not touching it. It's fine. My animal is eating it, so maybe that's okay? Not so simple. Amy, is that so? V'amar Ravuna Amar Bichanina. Now, this is halacha l'maisa. What we're about to see now is almost word for word in the Shulchan Aruch. What does it say in the Gemara in Shulchan Aruch? Ma'imid odom behempel gabe asovim be al gabe asovim b'Shabbos. A person may make his animal stand, may take his animal and place it, position it, the behema over a savim b'Shabbos, meaning I'm allowed to take my animal in order to feed it and let it eat on Shabbos, right? Why is that okay? First of all, there are two issues. You may think it's funny, but it's not. We all know that animals conceptually have to keep Shabbos, but maybe behema, an animal is not allowed to schlep things for me on Shabbos, or even schlepping things that are not good for the animal, not necessary for the animals, are also for the animals to carry on Shabbos. So how can the animal eat on Shabbos and pull out the grass? Maybe I have to prepare it before. So that the Tosfos says, B'Shem the Medrash, that's the Onik Shabbos of the animal. The Onik Shabbos of the animal is to pull a fresh grass from the ground. Okay? That's Onik Shabbos, is to have fun for the animal. What about the other issue? If I get my animal to eat from the grass on Shabbos, maybe there's a chashash that at some point I'll help it and I'll pull out the grass myself. Maybe I'll start, eradicating the grass. That we're not choishish. Soon we'll see why. But, funnily enough, avalol gabe muktzeh b'Shabbos. What does it mean? Muktzeh here means, let's say I have a pile of grass, that was attached when Shabbos came in. Somebody pulled it out, whoever that is, on Shabbos, I guess a goy from the city hall, from the farm. And now I have asovim that are ready to eat on Shabbos, but they were not there Erev Shabbos. I'm not allowed to let my animal eat from that muktzah. It's muktzah, from those muktzah leaves on Shabbos. Why not? Ah, Pshat is like this. When the asovim are attached to the ground, we're not choshesh, you'll come to mamish, pull the ground with your own hands. It's all the oraisa. Amazing, chas v'sholom. You won't come to do that. From Jew, look, kippah. Mashe'enken, when you have muktzeh, the rabbana, the animal needs my help. People sadly tend to be more makel with the rabbanon, more and more a heter. I'm not allowed to have my animal with me next to it, right next to it. I can't have there seeing my animal eating from muktzah leaves on Shabbos, because then I will come to pick it up and let it eat. Oh, if so, how are you telling me that by the goy who's pulling out on Shabbos, my animal can eat? It's a meforshus tira to what we said before, to what you said now. You're feeding your animal muktzeh, and you right there's a chashash will come to take from the muktzeh leaves, which are detached by muktzeh. You'll be mekel darabanan. You'll give it to eat, and you'll touch the muktzeh. You'll move the muktzeh. So we saw it was a concern. Why here by the goy it's all of a sudden not a concern? It's a contradiction. Zog the Gemara, the kaim lo be'apo, ve'oz lohi ve'ochlo. No, stories like this. Enochinami. To take my animal, myself and I, to go hand in hand, so to speak, and stand by the place of the muktzah is osir. Here, I'm not taking the animal. Kaim lo be'apo. I kind of block its way to the other direction. I kind of plan its way, engineer its way, so the animal will only have one way to walk towards the asavim, towards the muktzah leaves, yeah? And the animal goes and the animal eats, but I'm not next to it. If I'm not standing next to the animal, then it's okay, because I'm not going to come to touch the muktzah and move it and give it to the animal. So again, let's summarize. If the goy is pulling the animal food, which means he's detaching oikel, he's toilesh, koitzer, the grass from the floor, from the ground, yeah, for his own animal, and I don't know him, nothing to do with him, not doing it for me, complete strangers, never saw him in my life, then what? Then we say it's not okay for me to stand there because I may come to pick the muktzah myself, but I can stand far away and just kind of from behind, kind of, I shouldn't move my animal either, but I'm extending in such a way, maybe me and my friend, so the animal only has one way, and the animal stands and eats while I keep a bit of a distance. And that's halacha. Here comes the big machlokes and Rove about the whole topic. Omar, we're quoting now what we said before. Question. And that's going to be the question till the end of the discussion, till the end of the parak. When is it okay to benefit from a malacha done by a goy, for a goy, not for me? There's a big condition here. Only if he doesn't know me. But if he knows me, it's osir. Why? The assumption is, he knows me. Hi team, hi Shloimele, what's going on? How's news? How's your wife? How's the baby? So even if he doesn't pull the things for me, or takes the water for me, or builds a ramp for me, maybe he does do it for me. He doesn't say it, he may have me in mind. And if he has me in mind, that's already a problem, because then it is done for me, even though it's non-verbal. That's a chashash. Or that's what we think is the chashash right now. So, frag the Gemara, Araban Gamliel, the story that was brought as an example doesn't really work right. The story of Rabban Gamliel, Makiru Hava, the people in the boat, yeah, of course they knew Rabban Gamliel. Yeah, Rabban Gamliel and the Goyim were traveling on the same boat together. Tosfos points out that Rabban Gamliel was a Jewish, excuse my language, celebrity. Rabban Gamliel was known by the Goyim, right? The big rabbi is traveling with us in the cruise. Wow! So now Rabban Gamliel was known to the Goyim, and when they built the ramp, They're doing it for themselves and also for Rabban Gamliel, even if they don't declare it. So why isn't that a problem? Yeah, you see that it was okay, even though they clearly knew Rabban Gamliel, so clearly they did it for him. So why is that okay all of a sudden? Amar Abaye, Shaloi b'fonav hava. Says Abaye like this. The only chashash that the guy is doing it for you, if he knows you, is if you are present at the moment of melocha. When the guy is doing the tying or the building or the havara, anything, when he sees you visually, you are within his field of vision and he knows you, then we have a chashash, he has you in mind. But if you're not there right now, at the moment of action, he doesn't think about you. He's not so much in love with you, that guy. And therefore, if in the case Rabban Gamliel, he was davening or learning in the cabin or whatever, or resting in the sun in the deck, he wasn't there when they built the ramp. Because he wasn't there, even I would agree, even the Gemara would agree, it's okay for them, even though they know Rabban Gamliel, it's not a problem because they don't see him right now. So they have themselves in mind or other people. Rove Omar, Rove argues on Abaye with one important detail. Afilu tema befonov. Even if it's befonov, it's okay. Even if Rabban Gamliel was there right there and then, or the Jew is there, it's still okay. Why? Ner le'echad, ner le'mea, which means there's a difference, as we said before, actually, there's a big difference between things that are countable, yeah, there's more and more of them, yeah, or things that are just one item, which means just like one candle, the candle that Tim lit for himself is one candle. One candle is one big fluorescent light, is enough for one person, for 100 people. So the guy did it for himself. Then we're not choishesh that he's doing it for the Jew, even if he knows the Jew. Unless he says, I'm doing it dafka for the Yid, since as long as nothing verbal was said, we assume that he's doing it for himself, ner lechad ner lameo, and the same thing is by the ramp. The ramp belongs to that kind of thing as one ramp. The entire cruise may have 100 people on it, while the Meister, one ramp serves them all. First class and second class, Rabban Gamliel and the Shei and the Shkotzim. The time, when are we concerned that the guy is doing it especially for me? When he's adding amounts. When the guy is drawing the water, or when the guy is pulling out grass, he can pull out 2 kilo of grass or 4 kilo. And the guy knows me and sees me, hi. So even though he doesn't say anything about doing it for me, he may be adding for me. That's a chashash. Yeah, maybe that's a chashash. In other words, we're not concerned that he's thinking about me when he lights the candle or does the ramp, even if he sees me. That's not a concern. And we're going to see later why. But Rava Begadol is not concerned about that. When we talk about different amounts, and the guy knows me, and there's even if he sees me, it's still okay when it's one ramp, one candle. But if he sees me and he knows me, and there's something quantifiable, something that can be added, then we're choishesh. The chashash bekitzer, according to Rav, is not the fact that he does it for me. We're choshesh that he will do more for me. That's a chashash. Yeah, it's very different. Let me just explain for a second. According to Abaye, one second. According to Abaye, when the guy is my friend, the guy knows me. Yeah, and I'm in within his eyesight while he does it. And even though it's ner lechad ner lamea, yeah, if he does one thing and he knows who I am, and he knows that I'm around, the chashash is yes, he has me in mind, and that's bad news. Rava says, no, I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned that he has you in mind, either because he doesn't have you in mind or because I don't care. But lemaisa, more masha, he doesn't care about you so much. The only chashash is mainly it's one action for everyone. He thinks of primarily of himself, not of me, not of the yid. The only chashash, according to Rava, is when it's something that may be added. Yeah, if he's starting to fill in water, maybe kept filling a bit more water just for me, or pulled some more grass for me, or he may come to do it. That's a chashash. Yeah, what's your question? Good. We're not discussing it now, but l'choira, yeah, if avada, that's right in the Mishnah. If you say that there are two candles, it's quite mashma that one for him, one for me. He only needs one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, He's adding another candle, looks like I'm in his mind, then even if it doesn't, no mikud b'chashash. Maybe you can ask that at the end of the parak. Meisivi, here we're going to attack both Abaye and Rava. No, excuse me, no, not true. We're attacking Rava now. This is a brisa that continues the story of the Mishnah. Rabban Gamliel told his friends, the other Yidden, because he did it not in our presence, not when we were there, boy, we can go down that ramp. Look at that, you see? Looks like Abaye was right. Abaye was right. It was only okay because the Rabban Gamliel were not there when they created the ramp. That's exactly like Abaye and exactly against Rove. And it says the Gemara, Ema, the real version of the Brisa, according to Rove, is Hoil v'asoy nered boy. Now, because he did it, once he did it already for himself, let's use it. But whether he's present or not doesn't make a difference. Why? Because according to Rove, I don't care whether he's present or not. As long as it's a one-piece thing, yeah, it's not something countable that can be added or subtracted. Just one piece, one candle, one kevish, one ramp. Then he does it for himself, even if he knows the big celebrity Rabban Gamliel. And so, okay, we can discuss the question later. Okay, of Tzvi Rosen asking from America. Let's just continue now. Toshma, yes. Here, now we're going to have an attack on both Abaye and Rove. Yeah, think about the big apple. You have a town where you have both Israel and Goyim living in the same city. That city has a merchatz, think swimming pool, think heated swimming pool. Okay, are you with me? You have a heated, nice, indoors, geschmack, perfect temperature swimming pool in the holy city of New York. And now, Imrov, when did they heat that pool? On Saturday. Who heat the pool on Saturday? We know who. TM. Imrov Nochrim, if the majority of the swimming pool users, people in the area are goyim, mutter lirchotz ba miyad. Right after Motzei Shabbos, a second after Motzei Shabbos, you finish Havdalah, yeah, in half a minute, you can go, all men can go to that goyish pool, because although Mackenzie heated on Shabbos day, because most people there are going, in that neighborhood in New York, let's say, most people are going, who does he have in mind? The going. And therefore, if he does it for him and his friends, I'm the minority, the only 30% Jews there, there are members of that pool, so then we can go there too, because he was heating it primarily for them, not for us. Im roi v'Yisrael, if majority are Yisrael, if most people in the area are Israel, let's say there are 70, 60, 70% Israel in that neighborhood, Yamtin b'chdei shichamu, then you can't use the pool right away. You have to be mamtin b'chdei shiyasu. You all know the rule by if a goy does something for you on Shabbos and it takes X amount of time, you have to wait on Motzei Shabbos that X amount of time, right? So now, Mackenzie, he heated the swimming pool 9 o'clock in the morning. You know how long it took to heat the entire swimming pool to perfect temperature? Half an hour. Comes Motzei Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos is 5:30. I don't know where and when, space. And now, only at 6 o'clock, I can benefit from that. So I shouldn't benefit from what he did for the Eden. It doesn't work right. Sounds nice, but it's not. Why? Let's think. First of all, this is Ner Lechad Ner Lameh. Why? Although water, there's a lot of water here, but Lamaisa, the heating system is one heating system. In the olden days, you have the same system there already from before. If you remember Daf Mem Mem Aleph, you have these like burning things underneath, and you light you know you heat the whole swimming pool in one go. Whether what on Shabbos, true, but it's Echad Lameh Ner Lechad Ner Lameh Chimum Lechad Chimum Lameh. What did they do today? They turn on the heating, right? It's one action for the whole pool. That's one. Secondly, the Yidden are not there. We're talking about from Yidden. Where are they right now? In Shul, in Avos Sabanim, in the Kiddush. Yeah, they're going to the Shviger to eat lunch. They're not in the pool on Shabbos Chas v'Sholem. So wait, why are you so concerned? L'ch'oira, even if Jews are the majority, so it's as bad as him knowing the Jews. Yes, he knows that 70% of the customers are Yid and who come with a long payas. So what? But l'ch'oira, that's not a concern. Why? Because we meet all the criteria according to both Abai and Rava, if you follow me. First of all, he doesn't see them. So according to Abai, that's good. According to Rava, even if he does, it doesn't matter because they're lemea. Swimming pool echad, swimming pool lemea. It's one pool. So why are we concerned over there about the majority being hidden? Even if he knows about them, it doesn't matter. He only deals with who he sees, who he knows. Answers the Gemara, that's not true. It's different. Why? Hossam, over there, we're talking about a big public, yeah? We're talking about a big group. Ki mechamimi, when they heat the swimming pool, adaita deruba mechamimi. They have in mind the majority. Again, which means when you have two people, you have the goy and the yid, right? The goy and the yid. The goy does it mainly for himself. True. So according to Abaye, if he doesn't see you, he thinks only about himself, even though he knows you. According to Rava, even if he sees you, he's not so much enamored with you. He sees you, but so what? Echad and Mea. We don't care. He doesn't think about you, and he won't come to add more. The Shenken, but the pool, it's different. The swimming pool is a whole group of people. There's also three things involved: kesef, money, and geld. They know that most of the customers are Eden. How does business work? Let's be the customers, right? Why do you have very anti-religious people in this country? I know it's for a fact, in person. Anti-religious people who run the most frum Haredi advertising campaigns. I know two such companies. Why? I'll tell you later offline. Because the Jews are the one who buy the diapers, the nappies. The Jews are the ones who buy the yogurts. If you get what I'm saying, starts with a shin. This lady, she has hechsher of Rav Rubin. Why? Because most people who eat in this country are Haredim. So she has hechsher. That's the way it goes. Mimela here too. Most of the customers are Eden. That's what talks. So Mimela, he does it for the Eden. Mashenkin, if it's something between a Jew and a Goy themselves, then the Goy thinks primarily of himself. That's not a shaila, not a stira. However, here comes a new question. Toshma, this question will be more directed at Rova. Nera doluk b'mesiba. There's a candle that was lit in a gathering of people. The one who lit it on Shabbos is clearly a goy, and that gathering has both Yidden and goyim together. They have some kind of meeting, some kind of neighborhood event on Shabbos with Yidden and Goyim together. The Yidden were told to go. Imrov Nochrim Mutar Lishtamish La'oira. If most of the participants are Goyim, we assume it was done for Goyim, the lighting of the fluorescent, of the candle, you can use it. Yidden can benefit. And Rav Yisrael also, if most of them are Yisrael, it's forbidden, and that's bad news. Why is it bad news? Bishlam, according to Abaye, it's good. Why? Abaye says, hey, look, because the Yidden are there, as opposed to the Merchatz, where the Yidden are in Shul, here in the party, in the gathering, the Yidden are there. So the Goy sees the Yidden, and they're the majority, he does it for them, it's also. But according to Rava, that's bad, because there are no two candles, Akiva, there's one big candle, one big fluorescent, one big chandelier, yeah? And the Goy, he lit it for who? For himself and the Eden. But why is it usher? Even though they're the majority, at the end of the day, we said he does it for himself, right? He cares about himself more than about the Jew. So according to Rava, this is ner lechad, ner lamea. That's mamish ner lechad. Why is it usher? And the third item is mechza mechza usher. There's 50% Yidden, 50% Goyim. Yeah? It's still usher. We're not sure if the Goy has the Jews in mind more than the Goyim, so we're Machmir and Aser. Well, the question is on Rava, and by the way, there's no money involved there. There's not money, it's some gathering of people. Still answers the Gemara, it's not about money, it's about numbers, meaning, Hostam Nami, there too, Ki Madlaki Adaita de Rube Madlaki. That's the idea, which means, when you have, here we're going to come to the conclusion. And of course, halacha is lakrova. Let's summarize so far. If you have one yid and one goy, says Rove, he may like you, he may be a nice guy, he may know you, he may see you, But if it's a one act, one zach for everyone, there's one candle, one fluorescent, one kevish, one thing. He's not such a nice guy. He thinks mainly of himself. And that's human nature. He thinks of himself mainly. He doesn't really have you in mind. Yeah? Not enough for you to start telling him next Shabbos to do anything. That's all of it. What about the party? Oh, there, I'm not so selfish. I'm running a party here for the guy is running a party. I don't know, he asked all the Yidden to come, yeah? So now there you go by who? By the majority. Yeah? The one who lights the candle is not so selfish to light just for himself. There's 100 people in the room. Who does he light it for? For the majority. Therefore, says Robert, there we're concerned that the goy obviously lit it mainly for the Jews. If you have 60 Jews and 40 goyim, and you turn on the light, the Eden should go away. The Eden should cover their eyes. The Eden should turn around and tell the goy, we're sorry, we can't enjoy your light. We can't bask in your light, Mackenzie. And that's what Rava would say. Now, Shmuel, story to emphasis what we just said. Shmuel ikla lebei abin Toiren. Shmuel came to a city called Toiren. Also Nochri came a goy, adlik shraga, and he basically lit a candle. Shmuel was a celebrity person. Shmuel was a doctor. He was known by the goyim too. Why is he lighting the candle? For the big rabbi of the Jews. So what did Shmuel do? Adrini Shmuel ape. Shmuel turned his face away from the candle. Shmuel didn't want to enjoy the candle to benefit, to have a no. He turned his face. But then things changed. Came on the chozo the icy shtar v'kakori. He saw that the goy brought a shtar, brought a document, and started reading from the document by the light of the candle. That changed it. Omar, Shmuel said, now I realize that Adaita the nafshehu dadlik. I realized he's doing it for himself. He turned on the light. I thought it's for me. Then he went away. It's for me. Then he brought a document and read it by the candle. That shows he's doing it for himself. If he's doing it for himself, no problem. Then even though I'm around, but it's clearly for himself, like Ove, ner lecha ner lamea, unless it's evident I'm the main purpose, but he's enjoying it too, it's not too. It's mainly definitely for him. I don't think he cares about me at all. Adrinu yulape gabeshoge. Then Shmuel turned his face back to the candle and enjoyed the light of the candle. Seems to be more like Rove. Adon alach kol kisvei. Mazel tov. I want to thank all of you who came here, and I want to thank Mam Loez, and I want to thank the Torah Anytime, and I want to thank all the Talmidim in Yeshivas Reishit that are learning Masechet Shabbos with me. Hatzlav u'bracha. Thank you.